Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Councilman at Large Darren Washington. I want to welcome you to the Gary Common Council's Planning and Development Committee meeting. We have 3 items on the agenda this evening. Before we go through that, we have currently myself and we have also 5th District Councilwoman Linda Barnes Caldwell in attendance. Good afternoon, Councilwoman. Today we have 3 items. Council pending ordinance 2024-62. Council pending ordinance 2024-63 and council pending resolution 2024-12. We will present 2024-12 council pending resolution at this time, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Gary granting waivers of non-compliance pursuant to Indiana Code with respect to assessed value deductions for the applicable personal property of Alliance Steel, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City Controller Salita Green, and Christopher Harris, Gary Redevelopment. From the administration, who would like to present tonight? You want to hit the green button so we can hear you?
Thank you very much. Appreciate
you.
it. My name is John Dilling. I'm the CFO for Alliance Steel here in Gary, India. Thank you for having us. I'm here to speak on behalf of the company and answer any questions you might have on our pending resolution.
Okay. Before we go further, we have Council President Ty Atkins here representing the 4th District. Can you kind of give us and our listening audience an overview of what this resolution entails?
Absolutely. Alliance Steel opened its facilities in Gary back in March of 2020 as part of bringing our company into the area. Back in 2018, this council approved an abatement of property taxes, both real and personal, over the course of 6 years. And after we moved in, we began taking care of our compliance issues related to the real estate side of the taxes and received the abatement on that. Because our company had moved from Illinois, where they do not have personal property taxes, we did not file in a timely manner due to an oversight on our part our tax returns for the years 2020 through 23 in a timely manner. During a review of that with our property tax consultant that we used to help get this the abatements passed through your organization here, he informed us that we indeed needed to file those. And so all of those forms have been filed, all the tax returns have been filed, but because they were not filed in a timely manner, the abatements were denied. And so we have come with a resolution asking that those non-compliance in terms of timing be waived so that we can pass through the tax returns and the abatements be applied and be able to pay our taxes in a timely manner and go forward from there.
Okay. Any questions from council members? Madam President? Ms. Barnes Caldwell?
Why wasn't they filed in a timely manner? What happened?
Well, again, so I've been with the company about a year and a half, and the former CFO came with the business over from Illinois, and again, they do not have personal property taxes over there, so there were no forms to file, nothing to look at, and it was just an oversight, a complete oversight on our part, on the company's part, on the controller's part, who also had come over from Illinois. And again, we use a property tax consultant company that helped us pass the original resolution for abatement, and he has been working with us on our real estate side, and I'm not sure why, but we found out later on that we had not filed the personal property in a timely manner. When I came on board, kind of took a look at the situation, we realized we needed to take care of this as quickly as possible. And so we worked with that person, got all of the back forms filed, all of the pieces filed, all the compliance issued, all of those type of things taken care of, and are now in compliance with the timing of our current and future tax returns.
We gave you an abatement when you first came,
You did.
and you're back now for another one?
This is not an abatement, ma'am.
You just want a resolution to,
You would waive our non-compliance of filing. So it would simply be allowing the treasurer and the assessor to apply the abatements that your council has already approved several years ago for us.
okay.
Madam President? Do you still have any more questions, Councilwoman? Okay. Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, how are you?
Good,
to
how
see
are
you
you?
in person. I wanted to do some clarity points first. So just for clarification, council members, I think CEO just mentioned that, they have in fact filed for compliance. That will not be accepted by the county until the council takes action. So
Yep.
I just want to be clear about that. We haven't, but the action of the organization by way of their advisor was in fact correct because they wanted to present something to the body for us to actually approve versus them not filing anything and then coming to us, and then they will then have to then circumvent and then go back and file. So what we do have, in fact, is their attempt to file the CF1 forms, which is the compliance documents, in addition to, I think for 3 years, it's 2020, 2021, and 2022.
And maybe 23 as well, with
Okay.
a slight delay in the
Okay.
filing.
In 23. I do know from discussions that 2024, so this actual operating year has in fact, it was filed in time. However, the council has not taken the authority to review, and I believe there was some type of signage that we needed to do for this year. And so I just wanted to let the body know that I've learned about that process within recent weeks, and we'll make sure to do that. Also, just wanted to make notice, I think one of the other reasons why it was not done the last 4 years, if I'm not correct, is because the advisor was not on board for the organization, was he, for those 4 years?
No, Madam President, he helped the first year to
Yeah,
get
he helped
the
with the
abatement.
onset, right?
Correct.
And he represented the organization in front of this body, but I don't think that he was retained over the last 4 years to help with the compliance requirements in that regard. But I do know that that advisor has been, in fact, brought back on board, and he did execute the requirement for 2024 on behalf of Alliance. I have asked for the following documents, and I have not received those as of yet. I did want to get a copy of the actual project development agreement, just to read exactly what was confirmed between the City of Gary and Alliance Steel in terms of that agreement that allowed us to pursue the tax abatement. And again, this is before members of this body was convened and elected. So I haven't received that. I also wanted to see what, in fact, the calculations would be for the last 4 years from 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. I guess as well as this year too. So the last, since the onset of the abatement to current, what that calculation will be for the assessed value, subtracting out the deductions that Alliance qualified for, and what that will be. So if we could get that, that will be great, just so we can see. Right?
Absolutely. Madam President, thank you. Our advisor, I have been working with him and just had conversations last Wednesday where I had sent him my initial calculations and I wanted him to review those. He also has the forms, and they're blank right now, but I do have those kind of compliance in employment forms, as well as the calculations. I just need to review them with him one last time, and then we will be sending those into your office.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I will ask, and I'm sure he knows this now, that he CCs either myself or the chair when he does, in fact, send that over so
Yes.
that we can know that it's received and make sure that all 9 members have access to that
Absolutely.
information. And so, colleagues, what that will, in fact, do, it will show you what the, how I want to say, I don't want to use a credit, but basically the deduction is, right? So the total amount that the organization will be assessed, and then it will show you what the deductions is. There are 3 different deductions that the organization gets on an annual basis. Let me make sure I can articulate it. I think it's personal property, it is vacant building property deduction, and then real property deduction. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And the real property is actually, again, we've been in compliance with that, so this is largely revolving around the
The
personal
personal
property
property.
side.
And personal property, from my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that is the equipment that is actually inside of the manufacturing or operations of the organization. Is that correct?
That is correct, Madam President. It is the personal property, the equipment, and that sort of thing that we have purchased to manufacture our facility and what we sell to our customers.
Okay, thank you. So the non-compliance for the 4 years,
Correct.
is respective to the personal property deduction.
Correct.
That in totality, including the other two deductions, is substantial for the organization.
That is correct.
Yeah. So when we see those total numbers, we'll be able to see the whole picture. We know numbers tell a story, and so we will be able to see what the impact will be on the organization if in fact the body does not pass. Because if we do not pass, the situation will be that unfortunately the organization will be responsible for all of those, the back taxes on the total. Is that correct?
That is correct, and that difference is approximately $1 million for us.
Per year,
Which-
correct?
What's that?
Is it annually?
That's the total for the last 4 years.
Oh,
So
the total, okay.
The taxes without the abatement over the 4 years are approximately $1.5 million.
Okay.
And with the abatement are about $650,000.
Okay.
And of that $650,000, we've already paid $581,000. We've attempted to pay what we believe we owe to the best of our knowledge. And then if this resolution is passed through, then the treasurer and the auditor are able to recalculate, and whatever amount is owed would be paid immediately.
Okay. And colleagues, I did stress with the organization along with Vice President Latham, the agreement in our tax abatement for the organization to adhere to the imposed fees that this body tacked on to that tax abatement. So we read the resolutions that was approved, in 2019, and then I think it was amended in 2020. We requested, which is within our authority, for an imposed fee of 15% to be allocated to I think it's the Gary Economic Development Corporation. No, that one might be redevelopment.
I think it's the redevelopment.
Okay. And so right now, that entity has not received that amount, but I did ask the advisor again to identify what the calculation would be for the 4 years for that imposed fee.
And I do have that number. That's $128,000. And that imposed fee is based on the savings between what would have been assessed without the abatement
And the
and with the
deductions.
abatement. And so until that abatement or this resolution is potentially passed and the waiver and they can recalculate it, then there is no imposed fee currently due. It's just the additional taxes. So as soon as, if this waiver is approved, this resolution is approved, once the calculation is done, we will pay whatever taxes are owed, whatever balance is there, plus the imposed fee of approximately $128,000.
Thank you. And colleagues, I just wanted to stress this for future reference. That imposed fee is major. It doesn't have restrictions except for a nonprofit entity, CDC, EDCs, within the city of Gary. We can designate who the recipient should be. So we need to be mindful, and we are the authority that can do that. I also think in future opportunities, if in fact we do entertain tax abatements, we should be even more specific in the language of the resolution, identifying the entity and actually what the use of funds should be within the language of that resolution. And so I do know that Alliance has communicated as soon as the resolve takes place, if in fact the council approves it, we can work with the Director of Taxation at the county to ensure that we follow the process in terms of them being a recipient of what the total amount due is. And then they will in fact also get an invoice, I believe, for that imposed fee. And then they will be responsible for directly paying the redevelopment commission or department, in this particular case, that 128.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to make those points clear.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a few
President, thank you
questions.
for speaking on behalf. We are really appreciative of the city of Gary and what's been accomplished here as a partnership between our company and this community. We're also excited about continuing to expand our operations and look forward to coming back and talking with you about what we want to continue to do with the community here.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, can I make one more point? I was concerned that, and I think too, in speaking with Attorney Williams, that we didn't want to set the precedence that this is in fact what we will always do, right? If you are not in compliance, you're not in compliance. And we don't want to set the tone where we're always giving waivers or giving people the opportunity, but we also want to make sure that we show that we are respectful to our corporate partners who have chosen the city and who have done their due diligence in integrating into our community. And so I believe in this resolution that's in front of us, there should be language that states that, I believe the sunset of this it was a 9-year tax abatement total, or 6 years?
6 years.
So we have 2 more years, 2026, I believe, is the last year. And so this and moving forward, we need to make sure that this language is in our resolutions on the onset, if we do entertain any tax abatements, that they will not, in fact, come before us if this occurs in the future. And so that is here. Alliance has committed to that and have taken responsibility for that. And just for my colleagues, I want to make sure that we ensure that this language is, in fact, in any initial tax abatements, if in fact we entertain them in the future. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I have a few questions. Are you, after this 6 years, are you going to look for another tax abatement?
I don't believe so on the current amount unless we have a future project that we are looking to bring additional jobs and resources into the community.
Okay. And so I'm a new councilman and we have a new administration. So have you been able to sit down with the current administration and articulate to them what Alliance Deal has actually done so far for the city in being granted the current and past tax abatements?
With me tonight is Drew Gross, our Chief Operating Officer and one of the owners of the company. He has been in communication with the mayor in kind of discussing those type of both future opportunities as well as what we've accomplished so far with what this council has provided to us.
So with the documentation you're going to provide our office, can you provide in writing the accomplishments that you've already achieved for the abatements that have passed? And I know what's to come hasn't been negotiated yet, but I will encourage you to sit down with the mayor's office to really work out what can be done to benefit the city and your company moving forward.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
And we do have our tax advisor has provided some of these forms to me to fill out. He just sent those over today. I had hoped to have those prepared before this meeting, but he just got those to me. That talks about the employment numbers, the accomplishments, job fairs, and that sort of thing, which I look forward to be able to provide to you in the very near future.
Okay. Any more questions by council members? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The next item on the agenda is council pending ordinance 2024-62, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 3573, 3581 through 83, 3585, and 3595 Broadway, Gary, to be used in the automotive sales and service business by petitioner Griselda Flores Montano, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, Mayor of the city, and Griselda Flores Montano, 33595 Broadway, Gary, Indiana. You have the floor, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Good. Good evening, council members. So this is a special use permit to allow the sale of motor vehicles. The petitioner filed this. It went in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals on September 12, 2024, and there was a unanimous favorable recommendation. This is a property that had been used in the past to sell vehicles. It's zoned B51, which is entitled motor, I forget the exact title, wholesale and motor vehicle districts. But pursuant to that ordinance, subsection C, in order to sell motor vehicles, you need a special use permit. And that's what petitioner has asked for. We can run through, this is located just south of IUN between 35th and 36th Avenue on Broadway on the east side of the property, of the street. And it, the Board of Zoning Appeals went through the 7 requirements that are needed to be met in order to achieve or to receive a special use permit. And they believe that those 7 elements all weighed in favor of granting the special use permit, thus the unanimous vote in favor of granting it. I can go through all the 7 if you like. Petitioner is here. However you like, I can.
Oh, Continue.
Okay. So the first one is the establishment, maintenance, or operation of a special use will not be detrimental or endanger the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare. Again, because it had been used as a car lot before, it just didn't have the proper zoning or special use permit that should have been granted. We're here now to move forward on that. Special use will not be injurious to the use or enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted. The BZA felt that the establishment of the special use would not impede or substantially alter the normal and orderly development and improvements of surrounding property for uses permitted in the district, that adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been provided to the property, that adequate measures have been taken to access management, ingress and egress to so designed as to minimize traffic congestion on the public roads. Again, it's located between 35th and 36th, so there's easy access to the property. Special use would be located in a district where such a use is authorized, and all other requirements set forth in chapter which are applicable to such special use will be met. As we discussed, that 123-196 subsection C allows a special use for the sale of motor vehicles. And then finally, the petitioner did document and present to the board that the proposed special use provides for the implementation of sustainable growth principles and initiatives as approved by the board. They also have a car lot in Illinois and in Valparaiso, Indiana, and we're looking to expand out to Gary. So they have a long history of being in business. The only thing that the BZA wanted, and that's really, I think, here from the petitioners to go forward, is that whatever improvements, landscaping plan, lighting plan, be approved by the city first. That was the only thing that the BZA had outstanding on this matter.
So the site improvement plan, including landscaping, fence and lighting, and other improvements have not been submitted?
That's correct. And I think part of because there's been a little bit of turnover, I don't think it was made clear to the petitioners, unfortunately. They did tell them that at the meeting, but they haven't submitted a formal plan. I have discussed with the petitioners. Again, having been in business, they say they're open to whatever the city would like. They're going to improve the property to make it look good, so they'll have an attractive business, and they're open to any recommendations that the council may have.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell.
This happens to be in the 5th district, so I have a couple of questions. Who's the,
Petitioner,
come on up here. So is the business open now?
Hi, my name is Eric Loyola. I'm the president of the company.
Okay.
The business is not open right
It's
now.
not open
No.
right now. So, what type of vehicles will you be selling?
So, I mean, me and my family have been in the business. We focus mostly on pretty much any models. So we try to get, newer cars, 2015 and above, under 100,000 miles. We do really good with, Kias, Hyundais, Chevys, Fords, any brand, we have really good, mechanics who, make sure all these cars are kept in the best condition possible. So, in our other locations like Valparaiso, we do really good, especially because we're able to offer car loans to people, subprime loans, with people with lower credit. So, we definitely are able to offer a lot of options that a lot of dealerships wouldn't be able to offer.
So you'll have a mechanics shop there also?
Not necessarily a mechanic shop. We have some guys that do maintenance on the cars. The property does have a garage, so,
Well, I'm asking, with vehicles,
Yeah.
a lot of times we bring vehicles that aren't running and working and everything, and we sit them there, and that becomes an eyesore. So that's one of the things that we're not looking to see.
No, yeah, and like I said, I mean, we do a lot of business. I mean, you guys probably have dealt with them. Chicagoland business, we have to be able to provide the best quality cars for any customer.
I see it looks like maybe you will be using like 4 lots.
Yeah, so it's like, there's,
So it's important it doesn't look like a salvage yard.
yeah.
Yeah. So with your plans not being done yet, we need to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you understand what she's asking? She wants to make sure, we understand that you're doing the business,
Yeah.
but we want to make sure that there's not an overabundance of cars that's lined up where it looks like it's a tow yard.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that, we want your business to be successful where cars are being sold at a quick rate.
Yeah.
But we've seen car lots before that do this, but the same cars are there all the time. And it's either the fact that the cars can't be sold or either the owner is just putting the cars there for that's not working or anything like that. So that's what she's saying. We don't want to have an eyesore, and that's why the landscaping, the fencing, all of that is very detrimental to how your business is looking at from the public.
No, yeah, and like I said, I mean, I appreciate that you guys are, being honest and stuff like that. Like I said, the way my business works is I also don't like holding on to these cars. If I see that a car is not selling, I send it to the auction and
Okay.
move forward with the with the car. I don't like to keep cars there long.
All right.
I try to move them fast, so that's kind of how I do my business as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Madam Councilman, you still have the floor. Councilwoman Latham,
Mr. Chair.
you had that look on your face.
Mr. Chair, can I get mine out first, please?
Yes, go ahead. Madam Chair.
First, I wanted to ask a question to the administration. Where is the BZA packet? We've requested when these petitions come in front of us that the BZA packet be included, so then we could actually see the maps and we can actually see the action that the petitioner took, which one is the requirement to notify if it's residential within a certain, and so that is, again, missing from this petition.
Yes, Madam President, I apologize. I emailed them way at the last minute, not on purpose, but the BZA packets were emailed probably about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
I do have hard copies. I didn't know that we were starting, so I was going to come in and give them to you before the meeting, but I was outside talking and I didn't realize we had started, so I do apologize.
That would be helpful for 62 and 63, because I just want, if we've seen the area, colleagues, this location has been a car sales location in previous years, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like across the street from where the Rallies or the Checkers was at. So the, infrastructure for the most part is there and conducive to a sales auto place. But I don't think it is fair for the petitioner if no information has been given to the petitioner in terms of what, in fact, a site improvement plan is. It's listed in the ordinance where it says, whereas by granting this special use permit, it requires that a site improvement plan, including the landscaping, fencing, lighting, and all other site improvements must be accessible to the Gary City staff. Who is the staff? How would the petitioner even submit this after it is approved? Has that been articulated to you, sir, as the president of the organization?
So like I said, I mean, after the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting,
After the meeting, they informed you of this, correct?
so I never really was informed of this. I mean, it was kind of, after.
I'm sure.
So, if you want me to be completely honest
I
with
do.
you, I basically just run, I run everything in the business. My mother's been the one that's been taking care of everything with Miss Brown and everything like that.
Okay.
So that's more of a question that you would have to ask her. I run everything, but she, I just can't do everything at the same time. She helps me a lot with that.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So colleagues, this has been consistent in terms of petitioners being misadvised, ill-advised, given information or told of conditions or requirements after the fact. It is our position that we represent the public, right?
Yep.
So I don't think it is
yes.
fair for there to be a condition where it says after we approve this, then in fact, the owner will have to be subject to a site improvement plan. That should have been a part of their initial submission to the BZA, and the BZA should in fact require that prior to forwarding it to us. It puts us in a messed up situation if in fact we don't approve it based on something that was given to the petitioner after the fact. So I would urge, Mr. Chair, that you work with this administration to understand the requirements of the council and ask that they in fact, what do I want to say, respect the requirements of the council. It's been months, at least since May, that we've had the situation occur over and over again, and it puts the petitioner in a messed up situation.
Well, Madam Chair, let me say for clarification, the email was sent to the chief of staff and to the administration requesting a meeting with planning, members of the planning committee, BZA planning, because this issue has happened before. And a meeting was asked to be held so we can figure out what needs to happen before it actually comes to the council, because this similar situation has happened before. And I agree with you, it's extremely unfair to the petitioner to not know and to not know that they need to have a site plan completed, especially by the time it comes to us, Madam President, everything should be tight and pretty much done. So I agree. So I will follow up again to request that meeting for a second time where we can get together and deal with this, so petitioners won't be confused when they actually get to this part, because when you get to this part, it's pretty much at the end of that. Yes, Attorney Morgan?
Well, Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell had comments first.
They have a new person over that department now.
No,
met
I
her
understand
last
that, but
week.
this request was months ago.
For 62 and 63. Okay.
Yes,
Can you copy me on that email?
Yes, I will.
Councilman Washington. I'd like to be included so that I can make sure that your requirements and your requests are implemented. Corey Sharp, who's our new, she's a consultant, but she's an experienced planner. She's been here maybe a month and a half. So just, we want to make sure everything's communicated and that you have everything that you're supposed to have, and also any additional requests that you have.
okay.
We're meeting that. So it's not intentional. We have had some changes there, but we certainly want to make sure you have everything, and that the BZA and planning department are asking for things in the proper order. I understand your concerns about things being approved and then conditions being imposed after the fact. That's not acceptable. So we're going to address it, starting with, once I get that email, we'll move forward.
Thank you, Attorney Morgan.
Thank you.
What's your name, Lori?
Latham.
Latham, yeah. Councilwoman Latham.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, council members. Thank you, Attorney Molina. Just a question about the site. I noticed that it's in the University Park East area. There was a plan done for that, and I'm just questioning how this aligns with the University Park East master plan, East Project Blueprint.
Is this? Okay. In regards to the University Park East, in the BZA report, it says the city will continue to implement the recommendations in the University Park East Blueprint for Change, a community-led neighborhood revitalization plan developed in 2016. The plan calls for the expansion of education and technology-related uses around the university and redevelopment of inactive school sites and other vacant properties with supportive uses such as new infill housing, retail, office, research, institutional, and recreational facilities, new retail development, and streetscape improvements along Broadway will create a vibrant and pedestrian-oriented environment. And the BZA felt that this would help implement or help that University Park East plan.
Thank you.
Any other questions by council members? Ms. Barnes Caldwell, you got another question? Madam President?
It's not a question. It's just seeming that the petitioner and the organization does have multiple different entities in neighboring cities that I am assuming are in good standing with those municipalities. Yes, he's shaking his head, yes. Okay. Very good. I'm going to assume that they will be a good steward to our community as well. So I would just ask that the administration be clear to the owners in terms of where the site improvement plan should be submitted so that they could understand that process, and extend grace in terms of a timeline that should be submitted for that review. and just ensure that you all walk them through that process. That would be my request. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are you able to work, you and the family are able to work with the city in having someone come out so you can look at a site plan? And it's not saying it has to be implemented in, 2 or 3 days, but to kind of show the things that you want to do that's comparable to what you've done in your other 2 locations so that could be presented to them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I could get in touch with them as soon as tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys are open tomorrow. I know it's election day, so.
Yeah, no, Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay.
Wednesday would be better.
Yeah, so like I said, it's really my priority more than anything because I really feel like this store and specifically in Gary, like I said, we do really well in Belleville, but I feel like Gary is definitely a community where, we could definitely build something. To be honest with you, this has been not just my dream, but also my father's dream. My dad, for many years, he was a struggling car dealer and, certainly when we, came together, we've been able to, in 2 years, we've been able to open our store in Valpo and, hopefully, and this store in Gary. So, this is really important to us. We're willing to comply with pretty much anything that the city, asks. And like I said, it's really important. And it is important for me to also have a really good looking business because I know, it's beneficial to the city. It's beneficial to me and my family, it's going to attract customers and, we're going to provide a good service so customers keep returning. That's the most important thing for me.
All right, thank you. Attorney Molina, can you ensure that when you all pick a date to go by and look at the facility, send me an email, the date and time, because I want to be there also to look at the business and see for myself also.
We will do that, Councilman.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Councilman, could you let them know that when the next meeting will be, if in fact you plan on reviewing it then?
Yeah, what, you talking about the new meeting?
Yeah, because we're not meeting on Wednesday, so it'll be the 19th.
I know, you want me to announce at the end?
Okay.
All right. The next council pending ordinance is 2024-63, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 2939 West 10th Avenue, Gary, Indiana, to be used as a home daycare by petitioner Betty Cole Cummings, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City of Gary. Petitioner Betty Cole Cummings, 2939 West 10th Avenue, Gary, Indiana.
All right, Council, this is for a home daycare. This, again, as we have, it's located in R4 residential area, which requires a special use permit in order to open a daycare. That is an allowable special use based on the R1 zoning, which is subsumed into the R4. Ms. Cummings appeared before the Board of Zoning Appeals on September 12th, 2024, with her petition. At that time, there was a unanimous vote to grant an unfavorable recommendation. Again, we can run through the 7 factors. Where the BZA was hung up is they believed, or there was a recommendation that the area was not safe enough for a daycare. There was at the time, the Arch Group was the consultant, and they felt like there was abandoned homes on the property. There was some neighbors who were a bit problematic. Ms. Cummings does not agree with that assessment. But again, we'll have the same issue because you just got that information.
We'll go through all 7. Go ahead.
Okay, so number one, really that's where they had the hang up. They felt that this would be possibly endanger public health, safety, morals, or general welfare, as the location was not located in an area that was safe or suitable for this type of business. The special use would not be injurious to the use or enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, so they felt that one was okay. Number 3, the establishment of the special use would impede or substantially alter the normal orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property for the uses permitted in the district, as a special use may impact development of potential investment of infill single-family housing of 2 lots in the vicinity that are currently vacant. The adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been provided, so that was okay in the estimation of the BZA. The adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide for access management, ingress, and egress so designed to minimize traffic congestion on the public roads. Again, the BZA did not find that problematic. The special use would be located in a district where such use is authorized only by special use, but other requirements as set forth in chapter which are applicable to such special use have not been met. And that's where, even though it's an allowable special use, the BZA felt that it was not in a safe enough area, so that's why they're saying other requirements in the for the granting of a special use permit have not been met. The petitioner did not document or present to the board that proposed special use provides for the implementation of sustainable growth principles and initiatives as approved by the board. So this is why the BZA voted against it. Ms. Cummings has pictures, and she, I believe also Nagina Brown has gone by to look at the place. I'm not sure if they agree with the original assessment, but that was the original assessment, and that's why the BZA voted an unfavorable recommendation on this.
Okay. Ms. Cummings, can you step up, please?
Good evening. My name is Betty Cole Cummings.
And so do you have it, would you like to respond?
Yes, they said that the place was unsafe for kids, but I brought the pictures in. The main thing they was talking about was a house next door to me, which is the man is 86 years old. He lived there. And when he realized that the man lived there, I said, well, I can bring pictures or whatever I need to do to bring the pictures to show. I didn't understand why they were saying that it was unsafe, because they said that the house looked abandoned, but the house is not abandoned because he lived there.
Okay.
Right, just to jump on that real quick, I think there was a belief by the Arch Group that the house was abandoned next door. Ms. Cummings says that it indeed is not abandoned. There's an elderly gentleman who lives there, and the property has been cleaned up.
Okay. Questions by any council members at this time? Ms. Latham, and then Madam President, and then Ms. Linda Bonds Caldwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Cole Cummings, do you live at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How long have you lived there?
Since March.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but it's your permanent residence?
Yes.
Do you own the property?
No, ma'am.
No, it's a rental? I don't know if that's
Rental.
too much in your business, but.
It's rental.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam President?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I had some of the similar questions that my vice president had. But if in fact it is a rental, typically we have asked that the owner submits a letter stating that you have approved or,
Yes.
right, but that's not in our packet. Was that submitted?
Yes, I submit one.
Okay, so we would need that. And then also, in the pictures, it looks as though one of the pictures that's on the packet that we have on the third page in the bottom right, it's already a sign referencing a daycare in front of it. I think that's like a level 2 or 3 sign that's in front, which is in line with daycare assessments. Just wanted to get confirmation if in fact you already operating or what's going on
No,
there.
I'm not already operating.
So is that picture not the property?
A sign in where?
Let's see.
The bottom right on page 3 of the packet that we received?
Damn.
That's not my house. Look like my house. This is my house.
Is that your property or no? Because what's
No,
in there,
that's not my house.
okay.
I believe, Madam President, I believe that was, Mr. Arch provided a copy of property nearby, but I don't believe that's the petitioner's.
Is
Oh, is
this
that right?
property with the sign?
Now, I did have my sign in the yard for the BZA.
Okay. Yeah, so this, okay, it looks like it's a sign. Of course, we can't read what the sign is, but I do know that it's like a level 2, is it, designation? Is that your property?
I have a level 1.
Okay.
I don't know who this is.
I can't see if it's 1 or 2. Is it? With glasses on, I'm like, Okay, so the question was more so like if you already are operating without the approval right now, because in fact, it looks like the business is operating because it has a signage, et cetera, as if it's being advertised.
No, ma'am, this is not my house on here with this sign.
Okay,
I have a one level.
okay. And then, last question, you know, again, the property owner would have to submit approval. I think that that should have been,
They submit one.
okay.
I brought it to, Eugenia, Miss Brown.
Okay, so we don't have that. And again, that is a requirement for us, in fact, to see that approval has been given by the property owner to actually host a business, right, in their property. And then also, Ms. Cummings, just in questioning, like, do you own other daycares currently? You just got in the property in March. And so what was your interest into getting into this particular business?
I used to daycare, back in
Speaking of Mike for us.
I'm
so-
sorry, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I used to daycare back in 2018, 2019 in Illinois, but I love kids. So when I moved here, I just thought, like, I did a coat drive. I gave coats away, and I seen all the kids that was unfortunate. So I said, you know what, in order for the parents to get a job, they do need a daycare. So that's what made me want to do daycare.
Okay. This is a request for the administration. Previously, council members had requested a map of the daycares across the city. I have an older one, but I don't think that we received an updated one in 2024. And we have passed a few this year, at least 3 or 4 since the last time we received an update. So if in fact we could obtain an updated daycare map, that would be great. That might be a request for the new member of the planning team. And again, one was constructed, I can't remember when, maybe Eric Boria sent it to us. I don't know if this administration has sent one to us or not, maybe so, I can't remember. But again, to Vice President's point, we have approved a few. We can get an update just to see. Because we don't want an abundance of home daycares on residential streets, as we're looking to redevelop and stabilize neighborhoods with home ownership and neighbors, right? So, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We will provide that.
Thank
Which,
you.
which,
Thank you, Attorney
which,
Molina.
which one is the actual house out of these photographs?
That's not, I don't know, none of this on here.
Yeah, 'cause these, I was about to say,
I'm
you
confused.
don't have a daycare in this area.
What
There's a
is
lot of
this?
space in this area.
But
They're
I
gonna
re-
do, cut the trees and,
Yeah. I brung pictures, my own picture. I brung
Yeah,
pictures.
I don't believe any of these pictures, I think it was of the block. That was his
That ain't
concern, and
even
maybe
on
that's
my
why he
block.
focused on the pictures. He was saying
Okay.
that he didn't think the block was suitable, and I think he just took pictures from the block.
okay.
I don't even know what that said. I'm confused.
We are too. No, we're just like,
So can you get that information
yeah.
to the administration, please? Okay.
and your pictures too, Ms. Cummins, if you could send that too, and then,
We'll take that. She brought some today. We'll make sure you
brought
get
some.
them.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Barnes-Caldwell, you got any questions? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Miss Latham, Councilwoman Latham.
How many children do you currently have enrolled?
Well, I don't have any right now because I'm not open. I have to
Okay.
get my license from you guys so that the state can come out and do their inspection and everything. So I can't open up until I receive a business license. Then they let me go on through with their procedures. Then the state come out and do what they're gonna do for me so that I can open up.
Any idea at what number you'll max out at? I think it's like 12.
Yeah,
But do you think you'll get to 12?
I get the 12, but not at the same time. The kids go to school. You know, I have like probably 4 in the morning, the PM, 4 in the afternoon, and all the kids can't be together because once the 4 in the morning time is up, they have to leave so the other kids can come in.
Got it.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. You're welcome.
Mr. Chair, just one more question.
Madam Chair.
I didn't see it in the packet, but what is the square footage of the home?
The square footage of the home, do you know what that is?
Oh, I do, I see. 744 square feet,
That's correct.
okay. And I'm not familiar with the process of approval, but when you obtain, I guess, a license from the state to be a daycare provider, do they visit the home itself to
Yeah.
assess if in fact you could hold 12 kids?
Yes, ma'am.
And
They'll
that
come
approval
and
has
tell me.
been, I'm sorry.
They will come and tell me how many kids I can have, once they do their inspection, and they'll do everything.
Okay,
Because they got to come out, they got to check everything.
okay. And has that hasn't been executed, correct?
No, ma'am, I'm still waiting on the business license. They can't do it until I get free from you guys.
Okay.
I was gonna do, the 24 hours, but I probably do to the, midnight. Midnight,
What time in the morning?
6 a.m.
Madam President, she said something that was really interesting that we may need to check on, and maybe we need to have this discussion with the state. She stated that they won't come out and do an inspection until they get approval from us first.
Right.
That sounds backwards. And I'm not saying she's not right, but
Yeah.
we probably need to have a conversation with the state about that.
Or just understand the process. I was just talking to Attorney Williams about that. We just had one that initiated in May, but I think it didn't get approved or reviewed until like August or so. But the details about that is not consistent because that particular petitioner had been a prior existing daycare provider, and so she already had a license. She was just moving into a new property. So I don't know, but it seems odd
Yeah.
though, because if we give approval for special use,
And
And
then we
then
get
you-
approval and they come and say, oh, well, you can't, you
Yeah.
don't meet the qualifications.
but then it makes sense too, if I'm new, why would I go to the state without knowing if the city is gonna approve me to get a business license or special use at the location? Cause the special use is tied to the property itself, it's not really tied to the individual.
And I think, Madam President, that raises a good point. If it is this way, then we need to put in the ordinance that if it is not approved, that it's conditional upon it being approved by the state,
Conditional,
essentially.
yes. That's the point. Because our municipal code doesn't speak to that right now, right?
Correct.
That's another one. That we need to write down. Huh? Me, the-
Ms. Cummings, did you have something you want to say?
Yes.
Yes.
So what they
Talk in the
do,
mic too, thank you.
when you do your second orientation, they want you to upload your document. They want you to upload the business license, the license from the city, the drug test, the fingerprinting, and all that extra stuff. They want us to upload all that. If we can't upload it, we can't go no farther. So that's why I came here, to do what I had to do in order to get the license. And then they give the state the right of way to come out, and they'll let me go farther from there.
Okay. So Attorney Molina, when zoning went out, did they actually go out to the home and survey the area? I'm trying to figure out how you got the wrong photographs.
Well, Councilman Washington, I don't think they're the wrong photographs. I think that's what he was focusing on, because his main argument, Mr. Arshami, when he was
The area.
is the area, exactly. So I think instead of showing the actual property, he was showing pictures of the block, of what he thought was wrong with the block, which I think doesn't do her justice either.
Okay.
And Mr.
Attorney-
Chair, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I just wanted to Attorney Molina's point, I did Google it, as Councilman Barnes Caldwell had recommended. And when you do the area view, that's true. Like the grassy areas and that, area that he's showing on the photos, like the first, I don't know, 5 pictures that he has here, it is the well, I guess the lot that's adjacent to it. It looks like if you're facing the property on the left side, it's just like a lot of trees. And it looks like consistent to some of the pictures, but this vacant house, I don't know where that is. I don't see that on this area view with this,
I got cameras.
that's boarded up here. I don't see that. But the picture that's on the second row on the right side, that's the house that's directly next door. But it doesn't, it's like a white house with like blue siding or blue, I don't know what those panels. And it looks nice. Oh. See,
This,
yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. And then look, so I think what he was showing us was this, but that abandoned stuff, I don't know, because that's across the street. It's not bad. It's just
Show them
like
the pictures,
this
'cause I took
area, but
pictures
that's
of the
it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was off of, it was chasing something. Let me go back. It's off of, let's see, 10th and the closest cross street was Chase. It looks like you take Chase up to 10th Avenue and then you make a right possibly onto that street. Yeah, between Chase and Taney, off of 10th Avenue after Wilson. And sorry, Ms. Cummins, we're just trying to figure this out as well. It may seem like we're digging in. It's not you, it's the process. We're just trying to understand so we could alter it moving forward.
I actually wish that more processes in the city were consistent, at least with this part, with even like our trucking companies or food processing plants, that they would have to come here to get approval first before they were able to get there. And maybe it is the same, the business licenses, but if I'm not mistaken, the state, when they come to inspect, mostly it's going to be what's happening with the children inside of the house, right?
no, ma'am.
No, do they look at the block?
Yeah.
Will they look at the street?
They come to do yes. They will look at the outside of my house, make sure it's safe, the yard enclosed and everything. If they feel like something is not safe there, they will let me know.
Okay. I wonder,
Everything is for the hazard for the kids.
it sounds like you have confidence, though, even given the issues that we see on the block, that the state might not have some of those same issues when they drive in.
To be honest,
I don't see any issues on the block. I'm just gonna be, it's a lot on the left side of the property. It looks like it's a lot of trees there. But I don't know. Google doesn't, I mean, it looks like it's a nice house directly next door. When I did the aerial turning around across the street, those homes look consistent, like they're livable and nice. I didn't see any. It's the only thing that I saw, what I see on Google and what I see in this, on this
I don't know what
document,
that is.
it's not the same. I don't know where these boarded houses are, where this foliage is, where this no dumping sign is at. I don't think this is the same block.
On 10th,
It ain't.
2939 West 10th?
It's 2939 West 10th Avenue.
Yeah, that's the house I showed you. That's the one I showed you. On Zillow.
I mean, I think the house looks good, but that's all I see. I mean, across the street, I see some stuff. This one, 2 houses is the only thing I see on this side of the block. But I'm looking from my
don't even know
phone
what it
too.
said.
It may be a clearer picture on a bigger screen. All right, that's enough for me. Thank you.
All right, any more questions from council members? So this, Attorney Molina and Attorney Morgan, this would be, when I send the email out, we'll add this on to also with BETA so we can kind of sit down and we want to create a tighter process. Because I understand the state, before they award they want to make sure that the property, they want to make sure that the city has done its diligence to say, hey, we've inspected everything, it's a go. So I understand that. So, Madam
Yes.
President, this is just another thing that we need to, when we sit down with the administration, so we can tighten this up. So by the time it comes back to us for approval, it's just a technicality where we can get this approved. So all 3 items that were on, that we discussed tonight will be on the agenda for the November 19th public hearing for the Gary Common Council. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.